Hello, everyone. Welcome to Benn High. My name is Jack Beyer. I'm an architect with Goldstone Architecture, and we're responsible for the design and construction administration of the proposed conversion of this building for multi-use.
Good morning. I'm Shannon Barsati, Community Development Director for the town of Bennington, and the town is working in partnership with Hale Resources on the redevelopment of Bennington.
And I'm Zach Hale from Hale Resources.
So we're going to start just by looking at the exterior of the building to try to get an understanding or give you an understanding of the overall existing building. The overall about 100,000 square feet of usable interior space. With regard to the space that the town of Bennington is going to manage and lease is roughly about 28,000 square feet. And essentially the building is broken down into 4 eras of construction. So the original 1913 portion of the building, which is closest to Main Street here, the brick and cast stone portion of the building, back to about where the building takes a little bit of a bend in the brick facade there. At that point in 1939, an addition was built, and that's where that addition starts. And that included the gymnasium, which is back behind the building, which you can't see from here. And then in 1958, there was another expansion, which included the first floor of this east wing as it extends out to the east here, which you can see a little bit of the brick facade there originally from the 1958 construction. And then in 1975, the concrete block portion of the building, which is the second floor over the east wing, and this one-story addition on the front of the building here where the cafetorium is and additional classroom space. So that's how the building, has grown over the years. And it's, obviously there's quite a different element of architectural facade on the building relative to the 1913 up to the 1975. And the plan is to preserve all the elements of the exterior and enhance them with things like better access to the building. We're going to have more accessible routes to the building with covered canopies, and you'll see that on the renderings and on the elevations on the drawings. And also with this, the front entire front area here will be redeveloped for parking and a convenient drop-off zone, so people can come drop off, kids for recreation or seniors for senior center. There will also be a bus stop here, so there'll be a designated bus area, drop-off space, very convenient access to the building. The new entrance to the building will essentially be within this interior U-shape of the existing structure, and it will head back to the 1958 section where a new entrance lobby will be constructed. And within this interior U-shaped space will be a sort of courtyard, grassy area, multi-tiered space for gathering and just enjoying the environment, making it a little bit more park-like and just more welcoming for people, and also just to, access to all the variety of different entrances to the facility. Anybody else want to add anything?
Let's go inside.
Okay, so we're entering in through an existing entrance to the facility, which will be a secondary entrance mainly for the senior center and Meals on Wheels program, as these are the programs that are directly inside of this entrance point, and provides a little bit more of a convenient access for them at the times of their operation. And the current access to this entrance would be enhanced with accessible routes to this entrance. So there are no stairs, and all surfaces at grades that are under the requirement for less than 5%, essentially.
There'll also be a canopy over this entrance to keep it more protected. And the front area will have parking spaces reserved for seniors. So actually more spaces than are at the current senior center. Center will be here, right in front of the building.
So we're coming into the original 1975 cafetorium space, utilized both as a cafeteria and as an auditorium. You can see the stage to our far right here in front of us. And this space is going to be utilized for Meals on Wheels, dining during their hours of operation, but it'll also have the opportunity for other community organizations or events to take place here, utilizing the stage and the space that we have for an audience and other types of activities that could utilize this space. We're going to cut a portion of the rear of it down for the Meals on Wheels office space. That'll be located over here. And then behind that brick wall over there is where the commercial kitchen is and was, and that space will be completely renovated with new equipment for the Meals on Wheels and serve the dining room space here. So we're coming out of the Meals on Wheels space now and entering back into the central corridor, and this is essentially between Meals on Wheels and the senior center space. So this space will be used by both facilities, and we imagine and plan for this space to have benches in it, and an area where, as you enter the building, if you're waiting for meal to be ready, you can hang out in this space. And then we can enter into the senior center, one of the senior center rooms, and this, these will be connected. These rooms that are all adjacent, as we walk back through here, there will be a connection between them. But this room would be essentially one of their main activity spaces. And there would be a kitchen in this back corner here and some storage area for tables and chairs to set up. So multi-use room for a variety of different functions that they currently have. And then there will be a breakthrough through this wall into the adjacent room, which will also have program space, which we will go to next. So now in the adjacent space to the front main activity room, this space here will be cut up a little bit into a few different rooms. Essentially, the room on the exterior wall would be an additional smaller activity room, also with some storage area. And then in this side over here will be divided into two separate spaces. One would be a TV room, and the other is the crafts room with an adjacent storage closet for crafts. And then we're going to go through, we'll actually be breaking through this brick wall as well, and the rooms on the other side would also be connected to this space as part of the senior center space. So we'll go head there.
Do you want to walk through here?
Yeah.
So the idea with breaking up this room is to just replicate some of the same activities that are at the current senior center, like the painting, and an area to watch movies and things like that.
You want to get So this space is directly adjacent to the new main entrance to the facility as we viewed it from the exterior in that inside horseshoe-shaped space where the plaza area would be. So directly adjacent to that, you could enter into that space from there. And this would be where essentially the main offices and entrance lobby space for the senior center would be, as well as a large storage room and toilet facilities. Two handicap accessible toilet rooms for the senior center. Okay. We'll keep going through into the So we're now inside, directly inside of where the main entrance from the exterior would be, is proposed. And so you would be coming in from the exterior into this main entrance, which is essentially the entrance to all of the commercial use spaces on the first floor of the building. And so this would connect, we're going to be breaking down some of these walls. This will connect to the main corridor going east-west beyond these walls here, which would allow for circulation to go to the other uses in the facility, including the recreation and some of the other offices and commercial spaces that will be in the building. So this will be made larger and become like a welcoming lobby space, and there'll be a reception desk back in the back corner here. So people, when they enter, if they have questions or not sure where to go, there'll be somebody at that reception desk able to answer questions, and that will also be for members for the recreation spaces, the gym and the exercise rooms, and that person would be able to direct them through the members only door.
And this would be the main entrance for the senior
So
center,
this would,
right?
in this vicinity, it's not exactly like this, but yes, this would be directly going from this main entrance into the main senior center entrance space. So we're now walking into the proposed, one of the proposed exercise rooms, which would be part of the recreation side of the facility. And this space would be utilized for yoga classes and other exercise classes. And we'll go to the other side of the facility where the other exercise rooms and recreation space are.
Okay, so for those of you that went to school here, this was the wood shop. As you can see, it's in rough shape, but one of the assets of the space is how much larger it is than our current weight room at our rec center, at our Bennington rec center. So this space will be, where that room can be relocated. It's got much more space, height-wise as well as width, and then there's also access to Pleasant Street here from. Okay, so now we just came down the hallway from the other exercise room that was next to the lobby, and we're in the spaces that were the old, I think these were the art rooms back in the day, and language rooms, and these are going to be the locker and changing rooms, because right on the other side here is the gymnasium.
This is an additional sort of multi-use small space that is adjacent to the gymnasium and also the child care facility, which will be in the lower level. And this could be utilized for after-school program as well as, a variety of different uses. So this is the full-size high school gymnasium. And as you can see, it has a lot of brickwork that is, a multitude of phases of construction, because as I mentioned early on, the original gymnasium was built in 1939. However, the east side and the north side were exterior walls, and so they had, a variety of different openings, larger windows that provided light into this space, natural light. But then when the additions were built on it, they've now infilled those window areas. And so there's a variety of different brick textures going on here, but it's a lovely open space, large space for a variety of different activities. This is going to be fitted with a full-size basketball court, volleyball court, 2 pickleball courts, and a 3-lane walking track. And also there will be bleachers on the east side of the gymnasium and a couple of benches for teams on the west side. And we are also planning to put in some skylights in the roof so that we're going to bring back that natural light into the space.
When the town first started looking at the Benn High building, this gym was really one of the jewels that we started to consider, because we had a proposed addition to our current Bennington Community Center, Rec Center. But if we can reuse this Art Deco era gym, that's what we want to do.
Okay, so we're now on the second floor level of the 1913 building, and this is a typical classroom space that is the intent is to convert this, each of these classroom spaces into individual apartment units. And so they're obviously very large, and the way that we have worked in such things as bedrooms and bathrooms that are necessary in apartments is we will be creating, sort of taking one or two of the windows out of the space and putting the bedroom in a corner, and up to about 7 feet high, it'll be a solid wall, but from 7 feet up to the ceiling would be a glass wall. And you can see this in the renderings that we had provided. And that is to preserve this sort of sense of space of the original classroom space. And the toilet rooms are going to be parked in the corners, and because they're smaller, they don't impact the space as much, so the wall's going to the full height ceiling. All of this is going to be sort of brought back, preserved to its original character, with the wood strip maple floors, painted wood baseboards, and all the architectural elements. Windows will all be restored and made more energy efficient with exterior storms.
So this space is going to be used for the affordable housing units, and this is a non-historical part of the building, which will allow us to lay out the units a little bit differently and replace all of the windows, eliminate all of the concrete block wall, and have a little bit more efficient use of this space.
Just to be able to take advantage of the windows on the exterior walls, the bedrooms and the living rooms will be placed adjacent to the exterior walls, and then as you move towards the interior center corridor of the building, the kitchens, bathrooms, and utility spaces would be adjacent to the interior corridor.